Hey guys, it's Maya Elias with MayaElias.com. Today for our 5-minute consult, I'm going to be sharing 5 questions that you should ask yourself before quitting your full-time job. So I don't know if this video is actually going to be 5 minutes because I feel like this is such a huge topic. And a lot of people have this question. They're wondering when should they quit their job or quit school full-time before deciding to go into business for themselves full-time. So really quickly, I want to give you guys a little bit of history about me before I kind of go into all of this for people who haven't been following my blog or who have never heard of me before. So my name is Maya Elias, and I help passionate entrepreneurs make more money in their business through consulting, web design, and branding. And I started my business when I was about 18 years old. So I never really actually had to go through the quit a full-time job situation where I was contemplating quitting a job and working for myself full-time. But I did have to contemplate quitting school full-time. And that was a real issue for me because I had the support of my parents at the time with my business so long I was in school. And if I ever needed anything from them financially, those are the people that I felt, most comfortable going to because they are my parents. So I had to make sure that I was bringing in enough money within my business before I quit school full time, or if anything ever happened, God forbid, I wasn't bringing in the money that I needed and I needed my bills to be paid, I wouldn't feel comfortable going to them. And of course, they're my parents, they would help me out no matter what, but that's not the situation for everybody. And if it was a situation where I was, inside of a job and decided to quit, you can't go back to your job and say, hey, I need that paycheck that you guys used to give me. And also, although I've never had to really do the 9-to-5 thing fully, a couple years ago, I was about 22. It was in the summer, and I didn't have a job or a car. I just had my business. And I decided that, I wanted to bring in more income so I could invest more in my business. So I paid a $60 cab fare, and I went to the interview, and I paid the $60 just to get to the interview. So fortunately, I got the position, and, eventually the company ended up merging with a Fortune 500 company, and they downsized, and I wasn't working for them anymore. And thank God that the lady that hired me, she ventured off to start her own business, and now she's one of my biggest clients. But I understand the sacrifice and the struggle of, deciding to get a 9-to-5 job, what it's like when you leave it, things like that. I mean, I paid $60 just to go to an interview. And when they downsized, that was about $1,500, that I was losing out on until the lady that hired me eventually called me and asked me for my services. So I completely understand that. And I was really fortunate that I was bringing in enough money with my business that I didn't suffer too much because I was using it as something to supplement more income to put into my business. So anyhow, now that we have a little bit of that backstory, I want to go through these 5 questions that you need to ask yourself before going into business for yourself full time. I went ahead and wrote these down because this wasn't some planned speech that I had written. So I'm going to just go through these and kind of give some feedback based off of the consultations that I've done in the past and give some advice on what I think is best before just jumping in with both feet. Question number 1, why do you want to quit? I know that there's this stigma with working for the man and going to your 9-to-5, and people look down on it and, say that entrepreneurship is the best route for everybody. And I think it's just something that you have to be passionate about. You don't need to be quitting your job where you're getting a consistent income just because you have all these people telling you that you need to fire your boss, and there's all these seminars, conferences, coaching programs going on that's like, fire your boss in 6 months. It's just, it's pointless unless it's a job that you sincerely hate and you don't love it. And in that case, I would say find a different job. Don't just quit and expect to be happy with working for yourself, because working for yourself isn't that. It's not as easy as, these people make it seem. Question number 2 is, how much are you currently investing in the business that you have now? And the reason I think that this is a good question is because that kind of goes to show your discipline for how much you put into your business right now. So if you're not even currently putting into your business right now, you don't need to be leaving a job where you have an income and you could be using that money to put inside of your business. When you decide to work for yourself full-time, you're going to have to invest, whether it's through coaching, whether it's going through any other educational system on how to properly run your business, whether it's through getting a new computer, getting a website, anything like that. You're going to have to invest in your business in order to be successful in it. So, I want you guys to measure how much you're actually putting inside of your business. And also this goes for students. One of my good friends, she's ready to start her business and she's going to be having her website launch soon. And when she gets her refund check, she's putting aside money to put it inside of her business. And some students that want to quit school and go inside of their business, they're not even thinking like that. And those are the kind of thought processes that you need to have if you're ready to quit school or quit your job in order to go in business. You need to prioritize it. Question number 3 is, how much are you currently bringing in with your business? And I think that a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They don't take into consideration how much gas they're spending, what they're eating on groceries, how much all of their bills cost, and is your business going to be able to cover all of those expenses? It's really important that you write down all of your expenses, including entertainment when you go out with your friends, when you go to the movies, when you go out to dinner. It's really important that you write down all of those expenses and kind of measure what you're bringing in with your business and if those two match up well enough. Number 4 is, do you have insurance? And not necessarily do you have like health coverage, health insurance, which again, another thing you need to consider are the health benefits that you would be losing with a full-time job and student health benefits that you would be losing as a student if you decide to quit. But also what I mean by insurance is, God forbid something happens to you. Do you have money saved up in an emergency savings account that you would be able to use in order to take care of those expenses? Like, are you bringing in or saving enough money from your current job and from your business to make sure that you're covered in an event that you need extra money for an emergency? And question number 5 is, what is your strategy? So when you go through and answer questions 1 through 4, why you want to quit, how much you're bringing in, do you have enough saved up for an emergency, you need to figure out what your strategy is going to be. So if you know that it costs you $1,500 a month to live with all of your bills, you're eating out, hanging out with friends, things like that, you need to make sure that you're definitely able to bring in that income. So whether it's you need to have 3 clients a month and be selling this many books or products per month, you need to have a strategy, and you also need to have a backup plan. So if you only get 1 client that month and you sell 50% of the books that you had planned to sell, are you going to be covered with your bills and your expenses for that month? So those are 5 things that I want you guys to think about before you decide to just jump into entrepreneurship full time. I know that this is something that people want to hear and think that it's something like, yeah, quit your job if you're completely passionate about it. But along with passion, you have to be smart. You have to have a real strategy, because you can't quit your job and live a dream life, and then your dream life consists of struggling and wondering where your next meal is going to come from, wondering how your rent is going to pay. That's not a dream life. Doing something that you're passionate about with an effective strategy and a good income, that's living a dream life. So you need to make sure that all of those things are in order before you quit your full-time job or quit school full-time before working for yourself. This is Maya Elias with today it's the 10-minute consult, and I hope that these questions kind of had you thinking. And I hope that if you do want to quit school or quit your job to work for yourself full time, that you consider these questions, come up with a strong strategy, have a business coach or a consultant look over it and help you get through these things. Invest in that. If you can't invest in a coach, a consultant, somebody to look over this, then you might not be ready to work for yourself full time. So again, this is Maya Elias with our 5 or 10 minute consult with MayaElias.com, and I hope this helped you out today. If it did, please leave a comment below or subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.